we have the right to direct our attention wherever we want. It's hardly talked about that we have the right to direct our attention wherever we want. Our attention is been hijacked by programming of all kinds that we allowed to happen through life, through schools, through fears of some kind. And so our attention is being directed by different influences, institutions, different fearful institutions, different financial interests. The idea is for you to keep looking down, don't look up too much, and do your fearful task so that tomorrow you deserve to exist tomorrow based on some institutional bullshit. And so, okay, but we do have the right to chuckle and feel our hand, feel the vitality. We have, all through the years, we developed different value systems in our programming. So we can say gold has value, oil has value, cotton has value, water has value, stocks has value, real estate has value, money has value, right? So we all developed this system where we really value commodity. So if it's funny, I used to trade commodities, a futures contract. So it was a future contrast. It was so funny. People say, "How could you trade futures contract when you teach about being present?" And there's a whole explanation to that there is no conflict. And it makes me think of our attention. If someone took away a cubic meter of gold from you or something like that, you would say, "Oh my God, they took away a whole bunch of value from me." Or they stole money from you, or they stole your real estate or something like that. Say, "Oh my God, you know, they took value from me." How about if I would declare or just say that attention is a commodity? It should be traded in the New York Stock or a futures exchange in Chicago, actually. Maybe we could buy options for attention and a futures contract. I promise to pay attention for 3 months, and here's my premium. Attention should be a commodity in a sense that it's extremely valuable. Of course, everyone knows it but us. When attention can modulate light, like it can influence light, whether the light appears particle or a wave. It's evident that we have the power to manage and modulate, to override light, and therefore the physical reality that we live in is not independent of us. So that makes attention the most important commodity. I don't know what unit we could measure it in. Cubic meter of attention.
Decimeter.
Yeah, maybe some of you are so smart you can come up with some kind of a unit. So our attention is being programmed, and we accepted that programming. And that programming, no matter which program we activate or whichever narrative we activate, is based on fear and does not include this kind of attention, ever. It includes understanding, it includes getting more information, learning new narratives, competing narratives, templates, evaluating things, understanding things, but it does not include this. And so this kind of attention, especially, is more valuable than anything else, because that is the type of attention, that's the type of, that's the level of consciousness that we are on as soon as we touch this vitality. That is the level of consciousness that we are sitting on the moment we are there, which can actually influence, modulate our reality based on what we want, not based on some kind of a programming that somebody told us that we should follow. So I just bring that up, that the most important commodity is never thought of. We don't think about it. We're not aware of it. It's not traded in a futures exchange. Institutions are very much aware of our attention. Governments are very much aware of our attention. They give us different narratives to argue about. So I have one narrative, Nurit has another. We have something to argue about, and it's like it's like if we all live in a nut house, and politicians, for example, are also living in a nut house, and they're also crazy. Which crazy person is correct? The person who is looking left, the person who is looking right. Which crazy person is correct? And we go about forming opinions, narratives, templates. This person is right, that person is right. Not knowing that we don't have a choice, we just regurgitate the damn narrative. It does not include inner peace. It usually includes somebody's financial interest, or someone who paid for the narrative, stuff like that. So it's time for us people to realize that attention is should be the most expensive commodity. So then the question comes up, what controls my attention? What modulates my attention? Who does it? What does it? Well, there's a contrast mind that has been programmed by education, by life, by suffering, by stories, all kinds of stuff. And our head is filled up with templates and narratives and stuff. And the templates are very useful things. For example, you need templates, remember templates if you want to be a concert pianist or want to build a bridge. There's nothing wrong with templates. But when when something in my head is always telling me what I should be focusing on, then that something in my head is controlling my attention, which is the most expensive commodity that I have, even though I'm unaware of it, let's say. So the narratives are words. Words trigger images and beliefs. And wherever my focus is, wherever my attention is, that's what will influence my reality. We can say create reality, influence, modulate, whatever you want to say. It will influence reality. It will influence where I'm focusing. So if we're always being guided by duality words that are based on some kind of a fearful narrative, then that's the reality we're gonna be on. Not knowing that it's just a chuckle and flip. I mean, I'm making it kind of crazy, but we have the right We just don't know about it, but we have the right to flip, to direct our attention towards the body, elicit and use the innate intelligence within the body, and thereby using a different standard of life, and thereby having control or some modulation of our own reality based on our values. Perhaps you value unconditional love, let's say. That's peace is truly unconditional love. And perhaps that's valuable. Perhaps that's very helpful, even in your career. But in order to have that, we must use our free will to direct our attention to something super intelligent. And now we're starting to value our most important commodity. All of a sudden you might say, oh, wow, okay, this peace, and I can keep it all to myself for free. Not bad. Will come a time where you might say, okay, if I get a cubic meter of gold, I don't know why I'm talking about a cubic meter of gold, but that's what comes up. Yeah, it's a lot of gold. Yes, it's valuable, but absolutely nothing is as valuable as that level of consciousness where I can start directing my life, valuing my own life, valuing what I want to do. We're not blaming the programming here, since we all accepted fearful programming. All we're saying is that comes a time now where we can easily step out of it. All it takes is the chuckle and the flip, while we're feeling the vitality in the hand. We're most likely given a little bit of an example as to how simple it can be, because the mind most likely has slowed down or even stopped. That gives us proof, not that we need proof, or not that the contrast mind would accept any proof as such, because the mind might say, yeah, this is nothing. Of course it's nothing. That's the idea. It's nonsense. Yeah, it is nonsense. That's the idea. It's beyond the senses. So anyway, the most valuable commodity is our attention. We know how to guide it, how to make declarations, how to influence our life. And that's the beginning of making our life better, is to first activate a different level of consciousness that we have the right to, that we have inherited. Absolutely everyone has this ability within themselves. The activation, the attention, no one can do for us. We can't buy it. We can't say, well, here is this cubic feet of gold. You do it for me. And I'll just stay in your energy field, and one of these days I'll be enlightened. Absolutely no one can do it for us. You have to do it for you, and I have to do it for me. That's the price to pay. So what do we sacrifice? We sacrifice part of the programming that wants to be right and wants to correct, wants to control our attention. So we have the right to allow that, or we have the right to not allow it. We have the right to stop the programming and allow the universe to do coding. I use that word. Reactivate the coding within us life starts to change very easily.